You're tuned in to the Cre8 Podcast, where we explore the stories, advice, and insights from well-known and influential creatives in the industry. I'm your host, Cindy Morioki, and this is where creatives connect. Hi, Joanna.
Hi, Cindy.
Welcome. You are the very first guest on the Cre8 Podcast.
I'm honored. I'm very honored.
We're also very honored to have you here. Thank you so much. Could you please tell our audience who you are, what type of creative you are, what you do?
Okay. So my name is Joanna Kinuthia. I am an influencer or a content creator. And I'm also an entrepreneur. So in fact, being a content creator or influencer gave birth to me being an entrepreneur. So I have my own brand, Joanna K Cosmetics. So we have really nice makeup. I think Cindy can attest to that.
It's on my eyes right now. I don't know if you can tell. But yes, I do vouch for them.
Thank you. So aside from that, I'm a cat mom to two lovely cats.
And they're beautiful cats.
Thank you.
Even though they destroy your decorations in the house.
I don't mind. They're so cute that they can get away.
Always forgiven.
Yes.
Okay, great. So you're here obviously to share your story on becoming a content creator or influencer. And we hope that you're going to inspire some young people or some people already doing it and just need like a little push.
Yeah.
You know? So tell us about like how you started out in this creation journey.
Okay. So I think my journey started officially in 2016. Although before that, I took an interest to makeup when I was in high school. Like, it's just something that really interested me. And I don't even know where that interest came from because my mom never even really used to wear makeup. But I remember, like, I would watch tutorials on YouTube. That time, YouTube was really fresh. Like, I think it had just become a thing.
True.
So I would watch, like, YouTube tutorials, and I found this thing so interesting, you know. So I started practicing and learning on myself, and then I would also apply makeup for my friends in high school. And then in 2016, I used to get a lot of questions. How did you do this? How did you do your brows? How did you, you know? So I was like, if these guys have these questions, then I'm sure other people have these questions.
True.
And it was also just an aspiration of mine to become like the people I was watching in high school. So I was like, I mean,
why not?
I
Yeah.
have this love for this thing and I'm good at it. So why not start something where I get to reach many people? So that's more or less how it started in 2016 on Facebook. For some reason, I was really scared of starting on YouTube. I was really scared. And at that time, for me, Facebook just felt more safe.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started by making these short videos, short clips on Facebook, and they really took off. They really took off. So then in the beginning of 2017, I decided, you know what, let me just make the jump from Facebook to YouTube. And that's where it all began.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. I knew you as a YouTuber first. I didn't know you started on Facebook. Wow.
Yes.
My guys used to post on Facebook. I should
Yes.
have done that first. Okay.
Yeah.
So your main focus was beauty.
Yeah, that was my main focus because I feel like that's what I knew how to do. Yeah.
Joanna used to influence me a lot. The lashes she would buy, I'd go and buy the same one. She'd say, I bought this brush. Me too. So, no, for real, like, it really influenced me a lot. So, good job. You were doing a great job then, and you're still doing a great job now. So, you said that it was makeup. You wanted to be, you know, like the makeup girlies that you are seeing on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I do think, actually, you are one of the first makeup content creators, at least that I knew of. You and I'd say Wabosha also was also creating makeup content back then.
Yes.
Do you still make YouTube videos?
Actually, my YouTube journey ended up transitioning into other things. So I used to do a lot of makeup tutorials and a lot of sit-down videos. And then slowly by slowly, that transitioned into more lifestyle content. So sharing things outside of just makeup and beauty. And then eventually that just became vlogs. So I was just doing vlogs full time.
Yeah.
And if you vlogged, then you know that vlogging is quite
Tasking.
It's quite tasking. So I think it's this year, because I was creating, even this year, I've put up a couple of vlogs. But then I just started feeling like, in as much as I love vlogging, it's very high effort, low reward. Because, you know, I feel like doing sit-down content where you can actually shoot a lot of content in a day is very different from shooting content that is very dependent on what I do in my day-to-day life. So I started feeling like it's a bit high effort, low reward. So I decided to focus on things that at least are more high reward, like Instagram and TikTok.
I think that's true, because it's also, it's very, not that TikTok videos or Instagram videos these days aren't high effort, because there are people who are shooting.
They're definitely
like, did you
effort.
see this challenge that was recently, like, it's recently blown up for the makeup?
Yeah, yes, I have seen it.
People, guys are spending 10 hours filming.
Yeah, filming.
Absolutely not.
For
what?
For like a minute.
Something that's like a minute long.
Yeah.
Everyone
I love the commitment.
I love it too. Every time I see one, I'm like, I like it.
I also like it. Even if I don't watch the whole thing, I will like it.
I'm like, I know you've put in time and
of
effort.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. So I feel like, in as much as like it's high reward, especially because these days more people, what you were talking about earlier, I thought more people, especially like the Gen Zs, would gravitate towards short form content. But I'm surprised to see multiple like of these reports or like surveys have shown that YouTube is still king.
Yeah.
Which is surprising to me, because even YouTube itself had to launch shorts. So I thought like maybe they were feeling like there was competition, but people still watch long form content.
I can see why.
I feel like it's enjoyable, for sure.
Yes, it is. And I feel like, to be honest, I feel like not posting on YouTube, I feel like there's a disconnect between me and my audience, because on YouTube I could really go in depth.
True.
You know, so people really get to connect with me, as opposed to on Instagram and TikTok, where it's quite short. It's too short for us to be able to connect. So YouTube still has something that other platforms are just not able to replicate.
True, I agree. Yeah. And since you've talked about being in depth with your audience, that there's a question like I wanted to ask you about how you feel. How do you know like you're sharing enough? I mean, I know you, before you had already told me that you don't share everything, which is natural. Obviously, you can't share unless you're a reality TV show. But how do you know like if you're sharing just enough? Because I think you've perfected that art. I wish I could post and be like confident. I'd get anxiety like, nime overshare.
I think it's taken years, and to be honest, I still don't think I'm there yet. That sometimes I post something and I'm just like, cringe. I need to take that down. But I think it's just taken practice, a lot of practice and feedback from the people who are watching. And I think I'm able to post things in such a way that there's some aspects of my life I'm very open about, and I will share almost everything about that thing, so much so that you forget the other aspects of my life. Yeah. So if I'm talking about setting up an office, I will share where I got this, how I did it, how I'm moving this from here to here, so much so that you forget, like at the end of the day, maybe I'll go somewhere before I go home. I don't show that, you know. So I think it's sharing, like choosing what you want to share and then really going in
on that aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. Now to talk about like your studies. You studied BCom.
Yeah.
With like a focus in marketing.
Yes.
And then you've shared that you did have like an actual 9-to-5 job, but you did not last very long.
Yes.
You quit after a couple of, like a month or so as well. Or
less.
fine.
Yes.
Me too. I told you I lasted 1 month in my first job, so it's fine. When you quit, what was the reaction from your parents? Were they like, Joanna, what's up?
Yeah.
Like, yo.
I think first, both of my parents are quite different. My mom is a bit more risk averse than my dad. So naturally, when I made the decision, my mom was like, no, like stay in the job a little bit longer. You'll settle in. You'll start to enjoy it. I was doing marketing. I was working for, I don't know if I can say, it was Jumia Market. It doesn't even exist anymore. So part of the reason why I got the job was actually because of my YouTube channel. So the person hiring had seen my content and thought, oh, this would be a good fit because they're already in this space. But unfortunately, when I got there, I was doing almost nothing to do with that. There was a lot of, there's this software called Trello and so many other things that it ended up being a lot of admin work where you have to fill this in and do this, and it was just not what I thought it was going to be. And I knew it as soon as I started. I knew it. But one thing about me, when I know, I don't stay there for long. So when I told my dad, he actually supported the idea. And he told me that, this is actually the best time to quit because I was still living at home and my parents were not asking me to contribute to the bills. And he said, if you want to quit, do it now, as opposed to staying in the job for years and years. And then other responsibilities come in where maybe now you're living by yourself, you have to pay rent. Or maybe now you have kids, you have these people who are looking to you to, So he said, this is the time, this is the time for you to explore what you actually want to do with your life. And at the end of the day, there's food on the table and a roof over your head.
And that's all you need.
And that's all I needed. Once he said that, I went and I I tendered my resignation, but I lied. I said that I have another job.
Yeah, me too. I also said the same. Did not have anything lined up.
And they actually increased my salary. At that time when I joined, I think they were paying me 25K. And he said, this was just like a probation salary. We're going to push your salary up to 70K.
Oh my goodness,
that
Joanna.
Did not faze me at all.
You said I'm out.
Mind you, I was leaving for nothing. Like,
literally,
I was going
the money would have been yours.
Yeah, I was going to pursue like this creative thing that I didn't even know if people were making money from. That's how much I knew I didn't want that job. And that's how much I knew that I wanted to pursue content creation.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because
I turned down 70,000.
I am shook.
And at that time, someone who's just left campus, that
70K is a lot of money, especially if you're living at home.
Yes.
No bills, no responsibilities. So that means you're very decided, as you said, that you don't want to be there, which I think is something so important and something the older generation, I don't know how they did it, working 40 plus years at a company, doing the same thing day in, day out. I mean, I know there are people who can.
Yeah.
I just feel like I can't. And I feel like maybe that's the same for creatives. It's very limiting,
Yes, it is.
So I love the fact that you are so set on leaving and you just took that leap. And I also love the fact that even if one of your parents was risk averse, you still had support nonetheless.
I definitely
which is
had support.
Something not a lot of people have. Like,
people,
that's true. People will be like, people have parents who are like controlling their lives from campus to
like
job
stay
level.
In this job.
Yeah.
Come on, what do you mean you're leaving to create content? What's
that exactly. So it's nice to know that. So when you are starting out, I feel like when you started out, we didn't really have influencer marketing as it is today.
No, definitely not.
I think we have now evolved.
Yes,
a lot. Yeah.
A lot.
So when you started out, what was like a brand deal for you? Or like, when was it that you started making money and how was it different than it is now? Because I'm imagining it was different.
Yeah, it was quite different, even just for me, how I approached it. I got a deal. I left my job, I think, in July of 2017. And in September, I got a gig.
Okay.
So actually, when I left my job, I was a makeup artist at that time, which is a gig I really, really hated. I don't like such customer facing
thank
work.
You.
I did not like that work at all. So but I took it because it was a way for me to at least make money that I can put into my own
like
what I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
But in September of 2017, I got a gig with Junction. That was big for me. They paid me 30,000 shillings for me to... I did a lot for them.
Now you know better.
I did a lot for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was my first gig, and I think it's what really assured me that, you know what,
you're on the right
this
path.
thing, because I actually didn't know that creating content you could earn from it. I actually had no idea. So when they approached me and said, come and do this for 30,000, I was like, that's crazy. Like, I would do this for free. So yeah, I went and did that gig. And from that, because I didn't have a laptop at the time, I used to edit content on my mom's laptop. So she'd have to come from work at 6 p.m. And then that's when I start editing. So I'll shoot during the day. Then when she comes at night is when I can edit all my content.
And then
but with that 30,000, I just bought a laptop.
Oh, look at you.
With all the
your
money.
first investment into your journey.
It was a no-brainer. I bought my own laptop. Yeah.
Wow, okay. I also, like, I don't know if you remember, but when you were launching Joanna K, I was also like a YouTube makeup girly, but I think I was too early to the YouTube scene. Like I think I was doing it more of like it felt like a prerequisite to be a content creator more than like I wanted to be on it.
Yes.
And I was like very, very comfortable being on Instagram because I used to post my short form and I still ride or die by that. I love short form content.
Yeah.
But I did a makeup challenge, and I think I did like one of your videos, and it was you did your makeup in like reverse or something. Like it was like instead of eyebrows first, you did your foundation first. I don't know. It was crazy. It was crazy. I was like, Joanna, what is going on in this video? Anyway, then after that, you launched Joanna K, and then you sent me a PR package, and I was like, oh my gosh, she knows me. So I was very, very, very excited about that. Thank you very much. Also got a new one just recently for their glasses, guys.
You're part of our journey.
I feel very part and parcel. Thank you very much. So now speaking on Joanna K, you ventured into that in 2018. In December of 2018 is when you launched the Aspire collection.
Yes.
Right. So it was 1 palette and 4 matte lipsticks.
Yes.
Could you tell us your inspiration for that?
Okay, so first, the reason why I decided to start the brand is because because I got that gig for Junction September, and then after that, it's like once one brand came, others saw, okay.
Oh, Kumbe, she can do, and
she
we also want her.
Exactly. So I started working with a number of brands, and the feedback that I would get from them was so positive. Like, oh my God, we got so many customers, and we got so much interest from this mention or from this collaboration that we did, that I was like, but then you guys are paying me 30K, surely.
And you guys are making
and
millions.
You've made so much more off of that.
True.
Yeah, so I decided at that time that I to be honest, at that time I was feeling content creation was not going to pay me well enough to live the lifestyle that I wanted to live. So I decided I was going to use this influence that's getting these guys all this money that they're making. I also want it for myself.
Put it in yourself. Yeah.
So that is part of the reason why I decided to start Joanna K Cosmetics. And then the business to start for me was easy. It had to be cosmetics. I mean, I really love makeup. I'm good at it. People knew me for makeup, so it was such a no-brainer. So in January or between Q1 of 2018 is when I was like, I want to launch this thing. So I started doing research. I did so much research, like as much research as I possibly could. I even met with someone who was already in the space, who had a cosmetics brand, just to like tell me like how do I start this thing. And the advice she gave me was maybe go and work for someone who's in the space, like go and work for someone in cosmetics, and then learn from them. I was like, no,
I don't want to do
I'm
that.
not gonna do that, and I didn't. I didn't do that.
So sometimes you don't have to take advice, guys.
No, sometimes you actually don't. For real.
No, but it's true. Sometimes I feel like you should always take advice with a pinch of salt. You know.
Yes.
I like that.
There's an entrepreneur who I really love. She's called Sarah Blakely. She's the founder of Spanx. and she did this podcast where she said that sometimes being the new person in the industry without knowledge from these other people can actually be an advantage to you, because sometimes the people who are in the industry who will advise you, they have their way of doing things, but it can also like influence how you do things. Because like for her, she wanted to get her shapewear into retail, and all the advice that they were giving her was, you need to, I can't remember what they were telling her. You need to go to fairs. Yeah, go to fairs, display your things. If they see you and like you, they'll call you. But she was like, no, I'm not going to do that. So she walked into the retail store that she wanted her shapewear to be stocked in. She was just like, I want a meeting, let's talk. She gave that woman the shapewear, just try it on, if you like it, fine. And that's how she got into retail. Yeah, so sometimes the advice people who are already in the industry give you could hold you back more than just know what to pick. Know what to pick, but know what to leave.
I agree.
Yeah, so I decided to leave that advice. And I just kept doing my own research. I found my own suppliers. And in that time, I kept working with brands and just saving every single penny that I could so that I could use that as capital to launch Joanna K Cosmetics.
Okay, lovely.
Yeah.
So you've spoken about how you had fallen out of love with Joanna K, but now you're back, and I mean now you've opened your offices, you've launched new glosses. What was the push that you needed to get? First, actually, what was the reason for the slump, and then what was your motivator to come back into the business and give it your all as you're doing right now?
I think my reason for the slump was that as a creative, I don't know why it had not dawned on me that I would have to do other things that are not what I like. I started the brand because I was like, I like makeup and I like showing people how to wear makeup and how to combine this lipstick and this lipstick. And I went into it naively thinking that that's what all you have to do. Like, wow. And then I quickly realized that there's so much more to it. Like for this business to keep running, there's so many other things that I need to do that I don't enjoy and I'm not even good at. And when you start a business, you don't start delegating immediately because you don't have the money for that,
the resources.
So you have to do the accounting yourself, you have to talk to the customer yourself, you have to do the sales, there's so many other things, everything. And I feel like for me, I let all those things just like completely weigh me down, because for some reason the first thing I would always delegate was the thing that I loved and the thing that made me start the business. So I would always get someone to do the social media, and then I'm left with this other pile of work that I hate and I'm not good at. It's really hard to do something you're not good at.
And especially not even that, when you're not good at it and you have no interest in it, but you have to do it.
You have to do it. So I think that's what made me just fall out of love with the business. I was just like, what's this? This is not where I started. But what made me get back, first I started doing coaching, which I highly recommend, because through working with a coach is when I was able to uncover this, that most of the things I'm doing in this business are precisely the things I don't like and I'm not good at, and I've completely delegated the things that I like, the things that made me start this business in the first place. So just restructuring things like that and being able to delegate those things that I don't like, and really doing the content and being involved in what kind of content are we creating, how are we showing up on social media, things like that, and still maintaining the product development side of the business, I think is what made me be like, okay, this business is not so bad.
Actually, I kind of like it now.
Yeah, and then now that grew into, okay, this is why I started.
Oh, that's lovely. And I think it's so nice that you shared even that journey online. It's good to for people to see, even people you think have life together. I don't know, there's a standard people hold creatives to, especially like people who have a large following too, and there's this misconception that their life is great and they don't have struggles, and I think it's so important that you shared that so that they can also be like, okay, kumbe she also struggles. Like, oh,
Yeah.
she's human. Like, okay, she doesn't have 25 hours in her day. Like, you know,
Yes.
like we're doing this life thing the same, you know. So I think it's so good that you shared that. Okay, so do you think you've said that you liked the social media side and that was where you're passionate? Do you feel like your educational background helped you with the marketing of Joanna K, or
No.
Not at all. So do you feel like you use your degree at all?
No.
Really?
I just have it to have it. I think
It's
maybe
just,
the university experience as a whole maybe is what contributed to how I see things. But like the actual content of what we used to learn was very founders of marketing, and that
It was
we
theory.
never really even learned anything about social media at a time when social media was really the thing.
And it's because the curriculum is so outdated.
Yeah,
Okay, hopefully
it
now it's
is.
changed.
It's
I don't know.
very outdated.
But it's very outdated.
Yeah, so we really used to learn about the 4 P's of marketing.
Oh my gosh,
and
yes.
the founder of this and the founder of that, and you just need to cram and put that on the exam
Remember
paper.
learning like the 5 forces even, and then you're like, I'm never gonna use them. And
Yeah.
I've never used them. Even in my marketing career, I've never once
Yes.
been like, okay, like, yeah, maybe the 4 P's or the 7 P's or the 12, because there are so many P's.
Yeah, there are quite a
There's
number.
so many of them.
Yeah,
but
and
like,
I think with marketing is that it's a very, I don't know how to explain it, but it's a very like feeling driven
Yeah.
thing,
And it's
you know.
marketing is also very personal to each brand.
Exactly.
You can't market. It's not a
Exactly.
blanket thing.
Yes.
Accounting can be a blanket thing.
Yes, but marketing and
cannot.
especially social media marketing.
There we go. Like, you have to consider so many things to brand too. And
Yes.
like there's a lot. There's a lot. Okay,
So
so it's nice to see, because there's always like a disconnect between creatives and like people in general who first of all think that it's a hobby,
Yeah.
and then even when you tell them that you have like papers, like you have a degree or something, they're like, so why don't you work in that
Yeah,
field? Like,
yeah.
maybe I just don't want to. I just did it to say I went to school, so you
Yes,
guys can get
that's
off my
actually why I
back.
did it.
Cynthia,
Yeah.
I feel like me too. I'll be like, okay guys, here I've proved my point to you all. Now let me live my life.
Exactly.
On your Instagram, I've seen that you work with small businesses quite often, and now that you've shared like how you started your own small business, and
Yes.
you had all these like challenges, and how you worked with bigger businesses and they were getting very many sales, do you feel like that contributes to why you work with small businesses a lot? Or like, what's your
My motivation.
Yeah.
First we call them growing businesses.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Not small. We're growing.
sorry. I apologize. I've learned a new word today.
Yes, we're growing businesses.
Okay, growing businesses. I like that.
So actually, I'll be honest. Initially, my motivation to work with the small businesses was driven by money.
Yeah.
Because working with bigger brands, I'm sure you will understand this, they take ages to pay. Even the ones who you say pay on time, it's because they have said they'll pay in 60 days and they pay in 60 days. My landlord,
Will not
actually
understand.
landlady,
Yeah.
is not, I can't pay her rent in
60
days.
days.
I have to eat food today.
Today.
My cats have to eat today. I have to fuel my cat today. So
Literally.
I didn't like that. I was constantly getting stressed because I'm getting, yes, this lump sum of money, but it's coming after such a long time. So I decided, what can I do right now to be able to earn enough money to cater for my expenses? And that was the growing businesses.
Okay.
But that's where it started.
Yeah.
But then I now really enjoy working with the growing businesses
I get it.
over the big brands.
I understand.
Yeah, because first they give you a lot of creative freedom.
Thank you.
They trust
They
you.
do.
When they come to you, they've come to Cindy. They know what Cindy
Yes.
can do, and they just give you the product and let you do. You know, they'll
Do
tell you we
you.
want a reel and 4 stories,
And that's it.
and just do you, which is so nice, because I feel like sometimes the big brands have kind of lost that, you know, they kind of want you to do how they want it to be done.
an ad.
You know, how the client wants it to
Yeah.
be done is
Yeah.
how you will do it.
Yeah.
And I've really enjoyed that about the growing businesses. And they also pay on time.
Pay
Literally,
like,
there are some even who pay me and I've not even done the content.
Same, and I absolutely love
you
that.
guys actually, they believe in me. Yeah, they believe in me, and that's how I used to feel when I first started this. You know that this brand is coming to me because they believe in me. They know I know my audience. They know I know how to get my audience to purchase something or follow someone, and that's what the growing businesses have been doing for me.
Shout out to the growing businesses.
Yes, shout out to them.
Yeah, I also started recently. I like towards the end of December until like now.
Yeah,
and going forward,
such a nice experience.
It's so nice. I'm not stressed. I remember like I worked with also a big brand, and I've been chasing my money since like November, and I remember like I had to send a demand letter, get lawyers involved. And now, here's the bad thing about when you complain about not getting paid.
You get blacklisted.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I have finished my deliverables. I have gotten your sales. You have now surpassed those 60 days. Yes. Now we are going to 90 days.
Yeah.
And now that I am asking you to pay me because, as you said, my landlady will not understand why I'm not paying her. I'm waiting for... They don't care.
You need the
so
money.
Why should I care?
Yeah.
I was told that, one of our clients hasn't paid us. So we're waiting for them to pay us, then we'll pay you.
But that's not even your business.
It's not my... Like, your cash flow problems should not constitute a problem for me. No. So working with small businesses, for sure, I agree with you. One, definitely... the creative freedom, because these days I feel like brands have morphed influencer marketing into like another billboard.
And they want us to do ads, like ads for TV.
Ads. Like, come on. And in as much as I love the work that all these creators are putting in, I love the cinematography, I love the scripting. I'm just like, what happened to like...
Can we talk about this?
Yes, please.
Can we talk about this? Because this is a conversation I've been having often since last year. Because I feel like I kind of fell into the trap last year where I would we have the videographer, the lighting and everything, the editing.
So pristine, perfect content.
Yeah, but then I feel like that's not what influencer marketing is.
No, it's not. Like, they're looking at your content. Like, your audience likes your content because it's you.
Yes.
And I feel like when we start... And this is not to put videographers out of work, because there's still a way that you can work with a videographer and it's still very natural and authentic to you.
Yes.
But I feel like these days, all I'm seeing when I scroll is...
an ad.
Ads.
Yeah,
and I am...
it's an ad.
Tired, guys. Like, I will buy I don't even think it will make me want to buy the product, because ads are very like one to many. Like, it's like, here is something that all of you can relate to, but your audience in influencer marketing, your audience is very personal to you and your niche.
Yes.
So it's like they're coming to listen to you and hear your recommendations because they trust you as an authority. But when you're giving them an ad that has no like authenticity to you, has nothing to do with you, it's just product placement. Like, you're just there like, buy this today. It's like,
no,
bring back old influencer marketing. I miss those days where guys were just creating for the fun of it.
Yes,
first of all, and creating something that they know would resonate with their audience.
Yeah, and it's very authentic. It's very authentic, because I think initially influencer marketing started because there was a gap between the ads and
the consumers.
Yes, there was such a gap, because I feel like ads can end up being very aspirational, like, wow, those people are on the ads. That's not for me, that's for them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's for them. And then influencer marketing came in where Cindy looks like me, Cindy lives a life similar to mine, so if she's using this product, then it means then this product can also work for me.
Exactly.
But now influencer marketing has now become those ads where it's very aspirational.
Yes.
And when I was doing this last year, the kind of comments I was getting were actually more of, wow, this is amazing quality, or because my audience, they still want to support me,
and they're great.
And they're great for me that I'm getting the work.
Yes.
It's like, wow, love the quality, or just love hearts, but you can tell they're not actually engaging
because
with
it doesn't relate to them.
It doesn't
relate
all.
to them. Even today, I was watching an influencer's video. She was promoting a brand. I'll show you the video after. And I was going through the comments and I was like, okay, this is so creative. But I was going through the comments and someone was like, your ads are always so lovely.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey,
that's
ad.
what it's become.
Because it's become an ad.
Yeah, it's an ad.
And I don't know. We need to change that. I miss like, you know, you talked about someone, a creator, a smaller creator on your stories. And I also had followed her as well.
Yeah, very
her
authentic.
Content is so authentic. She's just living her life.
Exactly. And that is what influencer marketing was all about.
And I miss that so much. And I hope that we can stop. Okay, like have a healthy balance. Not every day you're doing ad. Sometimes day in the life.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
even when we're doing the ads, like how can we make it that we still maintain that like it's relatable?
I think there's a way. The person who I can say, okay, I don't know who can I think of? I'm trying to think of a creative who does it so well because I know that they exist.
Yes, they
like
do.
People, the Magunga. I don't know if you follow the Magunga.
No.
So he is I call him a creative because he wears many hats: videographer, photographer, poet, like many things. He's part of like the Fresh campaign, and he's been and he's very passionate about music and the arts. And he's been doing or he was doing a series on like the arts, music content, novels, and incorporating Fresh into it. And he's also done the same, I think, with Glenn Fiddick, if I'm not wrong, or one of those brands. And it's so authentically him, but the quality is so amazing. It's very it has ad quality, like the videography aspect,
but it's not like
an ad. If anything, it's so educational. I'll send you a video, you'll see, and I'll put one in the description box for you guys to
then
watch.
I think that's how we can merge. Like maintain the ad quality, but still maintain you.
Yeah, I think that's it. Because I like watching the content. I just don't relate to it.
Exactly.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Even the voiceovers have become really like, I was just like, you sound like Siri.
Oh my goodness. It's giving like a, you know, when you're driving and you hear the ads on the radio.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm just like, guys. I tried it as well this year. And even when I was recording it, I was like, this feels unnatural. It's just not. I want to be like, hi, cuties. How you doing? And then I'm there like, this Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not getting paid enough for this. Anyway, so now that we're talking about brands, are there times that you turn down brands?
Oh yeah, but that has come with time. Because at the beginning, I think I used to take almost any brand
because you want the money, which is so understandable.
I want the money.
Yeah,
but now no. I don't work with a lot of brands,
which makes sense.
Just because, okay, first, if I haven't used your product, chances are I'm not going to work with you. Actually, a lot of the gigs that I have right now, like the more long-term gigs, I got them because I was already sharing the product.
I know, like one is Nice and Lovely. I remember you used to talk about it so much even
I was
before.
already sharing about the product, and then I got the gig.
And I
so
also,
it still works.
I want influencer marketing managers to hear that line. When you're already using a product, when an influencer is already using a product and has spoken about that product, it's so easy to like integrate them into a campaign.
Authentic.
Because already their audience knows she's actually ride or die for this product. Like she already uses it. It's part of her routine. It's part of her lifestyle. It's not just her like, hey guys,
get this.
I've never used it in my life, but y'all need it.
Exactly.
Yes,
another one for me that aligned like that was Carrefour, because I go there all the time.
That's so true.
If I'm going there and you're paying me for it,
it just makes sense. It's like, wow, I was gonna come here for free anyway.
Exactly.
I understand. I agree wholeheartedly with that. Like I feel like that's also a very big disconnect. I also started like declining some, which has been a very hard decision because sometimes you just want the money.
Yeah, sometimes you just want the money.
But sometimes I think when you look at it long term, it's like, this doesn't even align with my brand.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten some for like betting companies. I don't believe in betting, and I never will support it.
Yes.
So I'm like, I can't in my right mind go and tell people to do something I would not do or don't even support. You know, it doesn't make any sense.
And I feel like in a way you're selling your audience.
Yeah.
And you should never forget that your audience is why you're getting these gigs in the first place.
Exactly.
So if you lose that trust that you've built with your audience, then eventually even the brands will stop coming to you. So you really have to prioritize that. Like, I never take I rarely work with skincare brands because of this. Not for lack of them approaching.
Okay.
But it's just because personally I have struggled with my skin.
And you shared that, actually.
And I have shared that.
Yeah.
And I feel like it would be so inauthentic then for me to come and tell you that this is the product that has
Fixed my skin.
Yeah, so get this one product. And I know how vulnerable someone who is struggling with their skin is, that they will buy anything you tell them to buy if you're promising that it'll fix their skin.
Yeah.
So I really shy away from any skincare related brands. I also don't like, if I don't drink a certain beverage, like Coke, I don't drink soda, so I would never
work with them.
I would never work with them.
Which makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like you should just, I know the money is also like a very enticing thing, but at what cost? Because I feel like at some point when there are people who will take brand deal after brand deal after brand deal, and like, I understand, like, you got bills to pay as well. I get it. But like, at what point are you now, again, a content creator or an influencer who's engaging with your audience? And at what point are you a billboard? Because if I'm seeing like all you're posting is ads, I am going to be like, this person just makes nice content, but I don't relate to this person at all. And I feel like that's what being a creative is. Okay, sharing your creative work, but also, but when you share it, it's to connect with an audience or people, like-minded people.
Definitely.
So it's like, if I'm just showing you ads, like, surely.
Yeah.
Can you share your top highlights in your creative journey?
That one is easy for me, to just be launching my brand, Joanna K Cosmetics. I feel like it was so validating for me when my audience actually translated into my customers.
And I love that for you.
Yeah, so that is by far the top highlight.
Which also means your audience loves you.
Yeah.
Like, they love you
and
your
love
product.
Them.
We love that. Okay. And then now, what has been your biggest challenge?
I think what we've talked about right now is the challenge, one of the biggest challenges that I'm facing, where I'm so torn between also creating this kind of ad content, because at the end of the day, it's what the client wants, but it's not what I want to create. Yeah. And then maybe you'll find you're in a campaign with other influencers,
and they're creating,
and the kind of content they're creating is like
a movie.
It's a movie. And then what you're creating is, hi guys, welcome to, and it just feels like you've not put in any effort. And the other influencers are really praised, and as they should, because they have put in a lot of effort. They put in the work. But I think that has been the biggest challenge for me right now. I'm still trying to navigate it.
I hear you, girl.
Yeah.
Can you share a specific project? Maybe, I think you're actually just gonna say JKC again, that has taught you valuable lessons.
I think what I would say is that the biggest lesson I've learned just overall as a creative is that, unfortunately, it comes with a lot of other stuff. Like, if you want to make money from whatever creative field you're in, like running someone who's not an accountant can run an accounting firm, and you have to become that person if you want to make money from whatever creative thing it is that you're doing. Yeah, it's a really hard lesson to learn, but you
just gotta do what you gotta do.
Like, now with this podcast, you're having to do a lot of other things that
I just want to be a host,
yeah,
guys.
you become an interior decorator.
Yeah.
You become a researcher because you have to research your guests.
Imagine.
You know, when you start making money, you have to now start allocating where does this one go, where does this
have
go.
to handle the social media.
You'll get big, and then now Cre8 will be on your neck. So
Imagine.
now you have to
But not now, guys. Don't start.
so a lot comes with it, and
Yeah.
I think instead of resisting, just know that it's going to happen and
Yeah.
be ready for it. And then as you grow, be ready to delegate those things. That's the biggest
wholeheartedly-
lesson I've learned.
I love that, and I believe in delegation so much.
But unfortunately, at the beginning, you can't
can't
delegate.
afford
you don't have
to.
the money.
No,
so you have
but
to
that's
do
why you
it.
have to work super hard to get the money,
Yes,
so you
and
can then delegate.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly.
So you share a lot. You know, you're very open, and again, we've already talked about this, but you
Yeah.
don't share everything.
Yeah.
So that sometimes I'm assuming would come with like negative feedback or comments or stuff like that. How do you handle that?
That one is hard because I don't know why human nature is this way, but you could get 100 positive comments and one negative comment, and you forget the 100 and focus on the one. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
In fact, there was a time when I never even used to look at my comments because I was just like, if I just see
Scared.
one negative comment, it's
You're
going
done
to
for.
affect me completely.
Yeah.
But now, like, it's still very hard to get negative comments. I don't think it'll ever get to a point where I'll just be like, whatever. This doesn't know what they're saying.
Whatever.
Yeah. So it's still hard.
Yeah.
But I think now I just actively try to focus on the good comments instead of that one bad comment.
I think
it
that's
takes a lot of effort and you being intentional that all these people are here supporting me, so
and
let
this
me not
one
give
hater.
my attention. Yeah, because that's what they are.
They're
They're actually
a
haters.
hater. Yeah.
Because there's some of my followers who will give me constructive criticism,
And that
and
is
you
good.
can tell it's so clear
Like,
to
hey,
see,
you could maybe
that
do
this
this.
is constructive
Yes.
as opposed to negative.
Yeah. And I
so-
always wonder, like, the people who leave these negative comments, what do you gain from it? Like, I mean, you know, you could have just sat with that.
Yeah,
Like, you
I
could
think
have
they
just-
just want you to feel bad.
They do. And I pray for their downfalls also.
I don't pray for them.
You don't even have them as
I'm
a
not that
friend.
big of a person. No.
What is something that you wish people who like aren't in the creative industry, so they don't work in this, they're not content creators or whatever, what do you wish they understood or they knew about being in this space?
This is a good question. I wish that they knew that this is my job. So me posting on my stories is my job.
You've clocked in.
So if I haven't responded to your texts and I'm posting on stories, that's my job. When you have a bad day and you have a 9 to 5, you wake up and go to work.
And you ignore the text.
And you wake up
that's a
and go
good
to
one.
work. So if I have a bad day, which is why I'm not responding to text, I'm not going to not show up for work. Posting.
Okay.
So I wish people close to me knew that, because
Yeah.
I can understand why they would feel, oh my gosh, she's posting.
And she's posting and she can't reply to my very urgent message of.
But the truth is, that's my job,
That's
and
work.
I'll show up
And
regardless.
it's true. It's just
Yeah.
like you're not limited to a place
Exactly.
or like a time.
Exactly.
You open the app and you're at work.
Exactly. So even if sometimes I post and I'm having a horrible day, but I still post. Like, I have to post.
Yeah, exactly. Like, just how like you have to go to work even if you're dealing with the biggest heartbreak of your life.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's so funny. What do you think sets creatives, like successful creatives, apart in the industry?
I think it's discipline. And I think that it's something that I think maybe we overlook as creatives, where you wait until you're in the mood to create for you to create.
Yes.
And I think what sets the successful creatives apart is that they've accepted that, they're going to post regardless of how they feel. So they try and work around, because also being a creative, it's very tied to how you feel. But now that you know that some weeks you're really on, then take time to create
As
a
much.
lot more during that time,
Yes.
because you know a time will come when you can't
just
imagine filming anything.
Yes.
And that's the content that you'll post.
Yeah.
So I think successful creatives are the ones who have mastered that the ninis,
Yeah,
the
highs and lows.
highs and lows.
Yeah.
So you prepare for the lows, but it doesn't mean that because you're low now you'll disappear from social media. You still have that discipline that
You've
I've planned and I'm still going to post, and that goes hand in hand with consistency. So I think successful creatives are consistent.
Yes.
People like Burna Boy always releasing music, like we never forget him.
Just when you think I haven't had a tomorrow.
Yeah. Like I think he's very consistent,
Yeah.
as opposed to maybe someone else who will post a banger and then
Disappear for a while.
So I think consistency is very important, and it goes hand in hand with discipline.
Yeah.
And I think especially in the content creation space and being an influencer, your audience loses trust in you when you're not consistent.
True.
They can't depend on you. You don't even show up
for
here.
yourself, man.
Yeah, you're not showing up here.
Yeah, that's true.
But when you're consistent and they're seeing you often, then it will contribute to your success.
I agree. Yeah. So obviously, you can't leave here without talking about Mr. Chris Kaiga. That's also hand in hand with your brand.
My man.
That's your man. But no, we're not gonna ask you anything like. So obviously, it's public knowledge that you guys are dating, and you've been dating for a while. And he is, for those who don't know Chris Kaiga, by the way, shame on you. No, I'm joking. But he's a musician, a very well-known, talented musician, which means he's also in the creative industry like you. So do you guys normally help each other out? First of all, when I posted my video for Joanna K, he liked it, and I was like, this is a supportive boyfriend that everyone deserves. So shout out to you, Chris, for being very supportive. We love it. So I was wondering, is that something that you guys do? Apart from obviously social media, liking each other's content, I'm guessing you hear like his new music, or when you have an idea, you share it with him, or is that something you guys do, or you don't?
Imagine, like, we're both creatives, yes, but I feel like we're in totally different
spaces.
Like to date, I'm still in awe of how someone can sit down and come up with music. Like how like
your brain just did
like,
that.
What? So I don't even know what I would contribute to that, because I don't even know what goes into it,
really.
And I think it's the same for him, because some time ago he got a deal to work with an alcoholic beverage company, so he had to create content for it, and he didn't even know where to start.
I don't know what this is.
So that's when he was like, hey, no, your work is hard.
Oh, but that's good, because then you appreciate each other.
Exactly.
Even if you're in the same space, it's still very, very different.
Yeah, it's still different. So I would say we just support each other. Like if I was with an accountant, how would he support me? You're like, good job, babe. You're like, you're doing amazing.
Don't ask me to contribute to that. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so but now when you go home today, you text him and you tell him to drop new music, please. Please, we are begging.
I'm here talking about consistency. And
tell him to be that say, babe, today I talked about this thing, and I feel like it applies to you. Cindy sent me personally on behalf of all Kenyans to go and to tell you to drop new music, please, and we would really enjoy.
I'll pass the message, though he knows. And I'll pass the message.
No, maybe he needs a constant reminder. Maybe he forgot. What are your goals and aspirations for your career moving forward? It could be inclusive of JKC as well.
I think for my personal brand, it's just to keep growing. I feel like there I kind of already I've established that it's what I like, it's what I'm good at. So it's just to keep growing, keep sharing my life with the world, and then the people I'm sharing will just keep growing and growing. I think that's just my plan for that, to keep going. With Joanna K Cosmetics, I really have big plans. I'm in my launching new things era, because I haven't launched, apart from the glosses that just dropped. Before that, I hadn't dropped anything in a long time. So I just want to to launch new things because they come with a certain level of excitement. You know, we just get excited as a team and our customers get excited. So that's the space I'm in for the remainder of the year and even just moving forward to grow my team, to expand how many products our product range, and to find new customers within Kenya and outside of Kenya, but
Joanna
within
to
Africa.
the world.
Yes.
So do you want to tell us what new products we should be, like which ones are in product? You want to keep it a secret?
This year we want to do something big, something
Beyonce,
something for the face. That's all I'll say.
I don't even care. I'm gonna buy it. I'm excited. That's great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that answers my question, which is what's next for you. So
Yes.
that's what's next.
That's what's next.
Okay.
What's next? To keep sharing my life.
Yeah.
And to grow my business.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now to wrap it up, could you please share with the audience a piece of advice for those who want to start their journey in this content creation space or like the creative space as a whole?
Yeah.
It could be something you wish you knew even before when you were starting.
Okay, my first advice is cliche. I feel like everyone gives this advice, but just start.
Yeah.
Just start. You know, when you're starting, no one is even watching you. Just tell yourself,
the best time to
no one is
experiment.
watching you.
For real, it's the best time to experiment.
Yeah, so you can do so many things
Yeah.
as you try and figure out what it is that you enjoy.
Okay.
And then I think the other thing I would say is to show up authentically, because people can see when you're not being authentic. They can see that. It's so easy to see. Even me as a consumer of content, I can see when you're just like,
this isn't very you.
Yeah. So just show up authentically. I think that's what I would say. Especially in the influencer space. I think that's everything.
True.
Just being authentic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being
This
our
has
very
been
first
a
guest.
nice conversation.
Thank you. It has. I've actually really enjoyed
Me
it. And I think I've learned so much more about you that I didn't know. Even if you do share online, it still
There's
felt...
always something
there's
new
always
to
something
learn.
new to learn. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Cindy. And I hope I have delivered as the first guest.
Wow, you've understood the assignment. You've surpassed your deliverables. If I could give you a bonus, I would.
Yeah, create to the world.
Oh, thank you so much.
All the best. I think it's going to be big. I think it's going to be big. So all
From
the
your
best.
mouth to God's ears.
Amen.
So that was Joanna K, exclusively here on the Cre8 Podcast. I'm going to ask her now to share where you guys can find her online.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram, Joanna Kinuthia, TikTok, the same. And more importantly, in fact, go find my business, Joanna K Cosmetics on Instagram or joannakcosmetics.com.
Lovely. Thank you. Bye. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Cre8 Podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an update. Like, share, and comment whose story you'd like to hear next. And in the meantime, you can vibe with us on all our social media platforms at the Cre8 Pod. Remember to stay creative, and I'll catch you in the next one.